Hello, it's Esther from Nevada. How are you doing? I can hear you talking to me, but I'm doing fine. Is it nice and hot where you are? Because it's boiling in here. It's 101 today, I think. It's supposed to be 104 tomorrow. That'll send shivers down my spine. Not exactly. Well, I've been working away here. Um, I'll show you what I'm currently working on right now. The beginnings. There's some. This color is a lettuce. I love this color. And then this is a peachy color. I don't know the exact name. And it is going to be a color affection shawl. Isn't that nice? I made one of these years ago, 6-7 years ago. I didn't care for it much. I don't still have it. I know I'm going to like this one. It's going to have this. Here's the peach, and it looks nicer with the green. And the next color is this pretty color. So, it's just lovely, isn't it? These three colors. Ooh. I just looked in my stash and found, what I could find, and that was it. I really am enjoying that. I finished a few things. First, I will show you the crochet sweater, shawl. This was so much fun. It's I got the pattern, very simple, from YouTube. You just go to YouTube and go to the Make and Do crew, and this lady on the Make and Do crew has patterns, and this is called the Easy Triangle shawl. And I used the mandala yarn, from Lion Brand, so it just changed colors on its own. It's nice. It's real airy and nice. I'm going to give it to a charity for Christmas at Christmas time. See, isn't that pretty? I love the colors. So that was fun and didn't take long. That was crochet. But as you know, I'm really a knitter. I finished the Stephen West Vertices Unite. And it turned out nice. Here it is very big. I'll have to give it to you in sections. Here's this side. Let's see what I'm doing here. And it goes there. And to that end. It's on my Ravelry page if you want to see it all. But I just love the colors. The colors turned out so nicely. I tried to make it what I wanted to do. My theme of colors was a river running through a nice forest, So there's blue at the bottom and green. And this is the sea green down there, and the blue, the two blues. And then the brown and the mossy color is the earth. That was my plan. And instead of the I-cord, which sounded daunting to me to do around this whole thing in I-cord, I just did stockinette stitch and it curls, so it makes a nice edge. I don't care. It's nice. I'm going to wear that in the winter. I love it. I'm not giving that away at all. And then somebody came to our knitting group one week, a visitor, and she had this pattern called the Quaker Yarn Stretcher Boomerang. And I just lit up. I just wanted that so bad. It was free pattern on Ravelry, the Quaker Yarn Stretcher. And I haven't blocked it yet, but this is it. They call it Quaker Yarn Stretcher because it has the Quaker garter stripes, garter stripes, in it. And you use a big needle, a bigger needle than the yarn calls for. So do you say, the gauge is real loose in here, but it doesn't fall apart because the edges are tight. It makes real nice, it has real nice edges. So after I block this, it's going to be a nice scarf, just a scarf. I thought I could sort of tie it in the back and have it be like a cowboy scarf, you know. Or, when I was a kid, I liked to wear scarves like this, like the Girl Scouts, where you tie it in the front, you know, but nicer than that. I don't know, I'll have to figure something out. But it's a pretty color, isn't it? The yarn is from Sweet Kitty Yarn. It's from Sweet Kitty Yarn. My lovely friend Yolanda of Sweet Kitty Yarn, she had in the Netherlands. She has an Etsy shop, and she sells all this nice yarn that she dyes herself. Look at this. She sent me this recently. I bought this. Oh, I adore this one. Pale orange and gray and white. Oh, a little bit of blue and purple in there. Oh, it's just neat. I'm really looking for the right pattern for that one. There's another pinkish purpley one that's very interesting, like a flower. She has that's her kitty. She has a couple kitties, I think. She's a cat lover, like me and my husband. That was nice. I'll have to show this again when I block it and wear it and show you how pretty. It's pretty purpley, bright purple. It has pink and purple, orange. She likes to put purple and orange together, and I love purple and orange together. I think it's just great. I think it's truly great. So, those are my projects. I did buy a few yarn. I wasn't going to buy any more yarn, especially acrylic. And then I went and bought some. I bought 2 of these. But aren't they pretty? It's green and orange and white. And there's speckles in there. Oh, speckles. It is cupcake yarn, Lion Brand cupcake. I'll just make a little baby blanket. I have 2 of these. I don't know where the other one went. It's falling down. I took it down. Well, so that's what I've been doing. I really am. Oh, it's hot. I'm really enjoying the colors. The colors of the yarn. And you know, what else I've been doing, which I've just become fascinated with, are the kilts of Great Britain. The kilts were in Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland, but they started in the Germany area, you know, in the Iron Age, in the pre-Iron Age, before the Iron Age. They were pretty sophisticated by the time the Iron Age came along, and their religion was the Druids was in charge of their religion. We don't know all the details because they didn't write things down then. They did not believe in it. Even by the time, you know, the Romans were here and stuff, they still hadn't written anything down. They just didn't believe in it. They said you should memorize learning and keep it in your head. So they're all gone, of course, throughout the ages, and we don't know very much. I've been studying this on YouTube and books. You know, they recommend books to read along with the studies on YouTube, you know, the history shows. And then they mention archaeologists that also studied it in the past. So I looked those guys up and learned about them. Unfortunately, the 2 guys who really studied it so long ago, in the 1600s, John Aubrey studied it and wrote books, and he was an authority at the time. It's too old. This stuff has been changed. History's been, you know, changed because they didn't know everything. And William Stukeley in the 1700s he was so wrapped up in learning about the Celts and the Druids that his fellow college professors called him the Druid. He started dressing in long white gowns and wearing sandals to work, you know. He got really into it. And we got a lot of, we got a few facts from him, but he didn't have it all either. His thing was he thought that the Druids built Stonehenge. Turns out, no, Stonehenge was built way before the Druids even existed. So that's what I like. And that's what I like about history. It keeps changing. You keep finding out more stuff. You got to change the history book, you know. That's really neat. I studied like this the Egyptians once a few years back, and King Tut and everything, and the facts keep changing. They keep discovering new things about King Tut, and pretty soon you change all kinds of things that you learned already, you thought was the truth, and it wasn't. They discovered more because they have DNA now and more scientific tests they can do now. That just puts a whole new light on history. So that's what I've been doing, because I'm not a school person, as I don't want to go to school and sit in front of a teacher and be with the students and buy the book and all this stuff. I can't stand it. Get the grade, take the test, take the grade. I don't want it. I just want to learn it. So I'm learning on my own all the history that I'm interested in. You know who I really love, of course. The best Celt of all, Queen Boudica. Oh, she was marvelous. Of course she lost, but she kicked some ass along the way, and she killed a lot of Romans that were being abominable to her and her country and her family. But she died in the end in a war, in a battle, I guess. That was. See, I hadn't known any of this stuff until a few months ago when I started studying it. The Celts, what an interesting bunch. What drew me there was I looked at my, what do you call it, Ancestry.com stuff, and I've always studied about, I learned what I can about the Vikings, of course, because I'm Swedish. I learned what I could about American Indians. I'm a little bit of that. But I never looked up the rest of it. The Irish, English, Scottish, Welsh parts of me. I have little bits of all those little countries. I love it now. It is fascinating. It's more fascinating than any Swede could think of being, I'm telling you. I love the Celts. And it's just a shame we can't know more about their religion and their beliefs. And we don't even know the names they call themselves. The Romans called them Celts and Keltois and all these different names. We don't know what they called themselves. Darn. Although I haven't gone into, I still have Scotland and Ireland to get into deeper, and I'm told by these history shows I've been watching that when Great Britain, England, so it wasn't called that in those days, but that the area of England now was taken over by the Romans, that the Celts went just farther over to Scotland and Ireland and hid out, and continued. So I think if I study their history more, I might learn more about the Celts and what they did, what they believe. I'd like to. All right. That's all I have today. I wanted to make it kind of fast. I personally don't like podcasts that go on forever talking about, if you're new, welcome. If you're old, thanks a lot. And they go on and on. You won't hear that from me. And I'm not going to ask you to give me money and be a patron. Yeah, there's no money involved. What could you pay for? None of this costs any money. I'm using my iPad to talk to you on and showing you my knitting. I don't know where they come off saying you should give them money every month. I just don't believe in turning knitting into a business. I don't. Not for me. I'm not interested in business. I'm interested in being retired and learning all kinds of stuff because I Never got to college hardly. I went to a few classes of junior college, but I never really got to be a college student. And I didn't learn a lot of stuff I want to learn. So here I am, learning it now. And knitting up a storm. And loving all those people out there, all 176 of you. And if I don't podcast, you all write and say, what the heck is wrong with you? Well, I'm sorry. All right, so until next time, which will be, a few weeks, couple weeks. See you then.